up.
saying hello to the dick.
Okay.
Sorry.
more important things.
Yeah.
Put a little motor on it. The sign's already gone down. Come on, man, get yourself up. Come on, man. Good morning, Diggs. How are we all today? Look who else is here.
Oh, Amos. The screen is dark.
And have you checked the brightness setting? Well, aim off. Good to see you, brother.
Changed to the filter, but
I noticed that the other day. It looks really dark.
yeah.
Or is it just because there's so much light in the camera, it's dark, they'll self off? I don't know.
Well, it shouldn't. No, it's supposed. Hey? Yeah. Yeah.
riding? Yeah, I see you on the... No, mate. No, pal. Yeah, I see you on the... Alright, I'm just going to turn you guys around a little bit so I can get the handle better. Vaughan's trying to do everything as always. Did he explain his thumbnail to you, or he just did a silent ride around the car park? His thumbnail explains a lot, I suppose, about what's going on in the world. So many things explain what's going on with our censorship and control.
It shows that the Australian Federal Police are retarded. And all of us are going to prove that in court.
So basically, there was a corporate rally on the lawn the other day for the, as you know, the Transport Union Workers, or Transport Workers Union. And so the disparity between the convoy to Canberra coming down here and how much the problems were caused by the police. But yet we have a corporate rally for the unions and they can do as they please, however they want. And just for everyone out there, the sign Joe's written up for us this morning, it's a beautiful message. Come on, Ren. So Renee, which is Albie's sister-in-law, they've got 3 beautiful young children. She's had surgery, she's had a big tumour removed behind her left-hand eye. She had a bleed on the brain and she had a stroke, and she's in recovery. So she needs some prayers and well wishes. And they've got a little campaign going with Come On Ren to just try and help inspire her for a speedy recovery. Yeah, not really. Like the ones they were doing on the lawn yesterday, they disappeared, and then 20 minutes later you'd see the powder from it all. All plain and normal. But yeah, so we're wishing Ren a speedy recovery and the best for her and her kids and her husband. So we'll take some photos with our sign around the place as well. We'll get them sent to Albie so spread the love and the cheer. As always, there's a lot of people out there we're praying for. David and Di, I know you've got lots going on. Between the father-in-law, the daughter-in-law, Jack. Oh. So many people suffering around the world. But we know we are making improvements every day. We are helping everyone the lives we can. We're in court tomorrow, advice. And he's the right man for the job on that case. I'm hoping he fixes all the problems in court tomorrow so I don't have to deal with my court case next week. How's everyone going at home? I'm hoping everyone's seen the new updates on the memorial, well, the wake they're going to have for Ruby on Wednesday. I'm sure by now everyone knows the family have wanted a quiet, private funeral now. But at 12 o'clock on Wednesday, people are going to meet at Government House, where Ruby was all the time. And they're going to do the last post and a few things, and then they're going to head to a pub afterwards to celebrate her life. Look how happy. It doesn't take much to be happy, guys. All it takes is a run in the park with the ball and a swim. Good morning, how are you? can all get back to what's simple and easy. Life can be simple. We're so worried about consumerism, having this, having that, and we forget about the simple things in life that does make us happy. Third world countries, people with nothing, always seem the happiest to me when they're playing and spending time with loved ones. And yet I see people with everything you could ever ask for, and they're so sad and alone. Did someone mention a knighted person? Every knighted person gets these awards, whether it's an OEM, whether it's a knighthood, a things they get, they all seem to be part of this evil system. If you're a sick arsehole, you don't get awards. I've heard this tune somewhere before, guys. Love you, Albie. Love and prayers for Dave and Di as well, yes, and for Ren. Albie, the message is your brother writes beautifully. It's so emotional, heartbreaking, and then it's ecstatic when the good news. He writes so well, and yes, our prayers are with her for sure. I don't know how you fit in everything you do in a day, Albie. You are a trooper. Yes. Speaking of Jimmy Savile, on the lawn 2 weeks ago I did take a photo and share it around. On the back of the bus was an advertisement for a construction company called Savile Projects, and I'm just disgusted in this shit. It just seems like they're rubbing it in our face every day, what they do, what they get away with. Freedom dog over there, Hazel. How is everyone at home? We need good news out in the world. Lift our spirits up. It's the only way we get forward in this. Lean on the people we need to lean on to get us through a day. Try and bring our vibrations up. Another line in the sky. You probably can't quite make it out up there. They were smashing me on the lawn last night. They haven't stopped this morning. But it's nice. We've got another visitor today. Some visitors go home and more visitors turn up. Amos turned up today. Yeah, I knew he was coming today. What was that bang? Did you hear that? Which way was that coming from? The bridge? They've crashed a golf buggy. I wonder if they tased him and assaulted him as well. Oh, I hear the chainsaws, so they're doing some maintenance around the place. It's a beautiful morning. Look at the reflections. Okay. Okay. 12 o'clock, Helen. Just to save Albie typing. I forget the address of where you're going afterwards, but the details are getting around the pages. There's a lot of people doing great things behind the scenes. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Coral. Thank you, Albie. Thank you to you all for everything you're doing. So we will take some normal screenshots of this later, Albie, but we'll get some flags in the background and stuff. But my second sign rider, since my first sign rider's out on the road, my second sign rider's sorted me out this morning. I'll set you up somewhere here, Diggs. But yeah, again, thank you so much, Ron, for the thumbnails, the effort that's gone into it. Making us all think. Because my brain some days just can't get into gear.
I'm still staying on track. Always the right path, just the way to act. Black face lies when mistaken the fact. Trust me, never time, got my face on the back.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount of us here today, but that's never going to stop us. Even if there's only one of us here on this lakefront, something will be said to that man every single day. What day are we at? 546 or 7? I don't know. I can't keep up with it all. We've been here for a little while anyway, guys. I'm not going anywhere yet. Look at little Gabby, just waiting for another dog.
Oh, she's already had little dog Susie.
Oh, didn't she get run down yesterday? That whippet just destroyed her. She thought she was fast. 546. It sounds about right. You thinking big things will happen on those round numbers?
No.
No.
No. But soon.
Oh, nice. Good work, Albie. Put that Telegram link. Get everyone out on there. So that's the Exposure 28, which used to be called... What did it used to be called, Albie? I forget what it was called, but once we started the Exposure 28 campaign, Ruby changed it up to Exposure 28. It was a nice work Max and Steve did to make those little symbols.
So who did the hashtag?
Well, that was started a long time before us. So that was started approximately 10 years ago, apparently. And Big Paul met the guy that started that, Tall Paul from Melbourne, with the Blue Healer bingo.
Oh yeah.
So he met the guy that started hashtag Exposure 28, and so we just carried it on from there. So, because before that we were just saying reveal the 28 and things like that, so it worked out well. Banjo, yeah, that's the one. Banjo. I'm pretty sad with names. I'm trying to get there. The bloodline chain.
Oh.
Nobby keeps us up in history
Good
to do
on
with
you.
England.
Thank you, Nobby.
Even though he hates us carrying these red flags because of the Union Jack, and I understand where he's coming from, but we still will fly them, Nobby, because our forefathers died. They thought they were fighting for our freedoms under it, but until we do something about our constitution, this was the Australian flag, and we will stand for freedom under these flags until they change these things. But no disrespect to you for your beliefs. We all have our own ideas and thoughts, because we hate the monarchy as well.
Coming down.
Are we waiting for Amos?
No.
Amos,
No.
we are waiting for Amos. That's why we're a bit slow this morning, Diggs. Yeah. Well, realistically, we've been here 7 more days than that, and it's just sometime between the 1st of February and the 7th of February, we had a day off somewhere there. We were doing dawn serves and stuff, a few of us that were here at the start, and we had a day off, but we knew from the 7th of February we were here every day. But it could have been the 5th of February, so we've probably been here longer than that. But it was a round number, it was easy to work with, and we stayed with that date. Well, 7th was the big day on that lawn when they did the flag. They took the flag on the 7th of February as well. So if Vicky and Hans are on there, Dan, like we were all there. We had a nice little ceremony that morning for a dawn service, and we'd finished doing what we were doing, and the police officer said there's people out the front, or someone got a phone call to say there's people, they've blocked the roads and there's people coming in. So Phil and I drove up in the F truck, and the police moved aside and they let us escort around 500 people down that driveway, which was just an amazing sight. But they took that flag this morning, and that was the morning. Look, there she is. Vicky's here right now. So that was the morning Vicky lied to the feds. She told them it was only us, and there was 500 people at the gate. That's probably why Hans is in court on Tuesday, Vicky, because of your lies. So, but yeah, it was an amazing morning. It'll never be forgotten. But yeah, that's why we keep the 7th, I suppose. And even Tobias was there that morning. I think that was the first day we met Tobias. Yeah, accidental white lie. Sure. Yeah, Albie, you're just trying to be on Vicky's side here. I'm still keeping it the other way. She likes to lie to the feds. Yes. We've had so many great days, so many memory days. Oh, yes, she was. Ruby's been here for so many big milestones in this place. And I was going through her messages again yesterday, and I've got a screenshot all the messages I've had with her, but I've got a few voicemails I've got to get recorded and saved, because precious memories of that lovely lady who showed so much heart and taught us a lot, inspired so many, and stood firm in her truth everywhere she went. And yeah, just even replaying some of her videos, like when she was at Government House in Tasmania, it's just always a good laugh. I still remember her first live stream, and the giggles and the laughs, and not sure if anyone was watching, but she went everywhere and did it with her heart. Yeah, you're right, Lulu. Well, we're going to get it organised. Amos has arrived. I had Amos in town for probably 2 months, month and a half, 2 months, but he comes back and forwards, and he's usually got a stash of bread when he turns up. Look at that. I didn't even have to ask, but the problem is there's no one here left in this town, and he's always got a big pile of bread to give out. Yeah, perfect. Perfect, Amos. Nice to have you with us, brother. All right, so are we doing this? Yeah. So, quick vote on the live stream. Is Vaughan? Do you want Vaughan to speak again? There you go. Everyone says yes. Alright, I'm just going to bring his back here so we can keep everyone in focus today. Amos will be walking around doing his live stream. He streams everywhere he goes, keeps everyone informed.
Part of the government really listens. We pay them to protect us, and they spend their time listening to us. It's got a lot, isn't it?
Good morning, everyone. Big funny place in Lena. All fantastic in the crowd today. Please move forward. Remove headdress. Stand fast! They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch till the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall not grow old as we in the left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
holds that position. Not doing much for it. As the Governor General of this great nation of Australia, this letter is a direct appeal from an ever-growing cohort of Australian people, both here and at home. We call on you to action the public reveal of the unredacted findings in the police report from the Woodrow Commission, 1995 to 1997, just a couple of years ago. The Woodrow Commission, as catalogued with the Police Integrity Commission, resulted in a 90-year suppression order containing 28 names of alleged pedophiles of prominent stature. WTF, including judges, government officials, an ex-prime minister, television personalities, radio personalities, sports stars, and others. Frighteningly enough, that our Australian government has made no attempt to undo the 90-year suppression order for the supposed safety and well-being of the population is totally bloody unacceptable. We'd be safer and our well-being would be looked after if pedophiles weren't running the country. Revisited again in 2015 in the Senate Legal and Constitutional Affairs Legislation Committee meeting, the then Senator Bill Heffernan delivered the same request for findings to be released to the public. That's us. You need to do the right thing, Governor General. You probably don't know what that is. As the Senator stated, it's not so much the secret that's a problem, although really, who keeps secrets? People with dirty little lies to cover. So, it's when a group of people, such as the 28 alleged pedophiles on the police report, keep each other's dirty little secrets. Into his appeal and quoted the judge of the day, we decided to not revisit that issue because the public will lose confidence in the judiciary. Well, you are right. If the public knew, they would have no confidence. Governor General, how can you justify the 90-year suppression order of the police report? Bloody police report from the Woodrow Commission, given that the Australian taxpayers paid out roughly $64 million. We have a right to full disclosure. We don't care about the money anymore. We just want the pedophiles to face trial. Like we'd have to. 27 pain-filled years later, we have stood each week since August 30, 2021 at Government House in Queensland, and daily since the 7th of February 2022 here at Yarralumla, the people's home in the Australian Capital Territory. Knock, 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 knock. We are either real victims, family members of victims, or friends of victims of Governor General, David Hurley, DH, dickhead. We have another dickhead in our midst. Oh, Donna! Give Bonnie's phone back! DH! I have lost confidence in the government! Any wonder why? Federal, state, and illegal local! I instruct you to dissolve the federal parliament and issue the writ for fresh election immediately! Corruption free! Further, I want all the documents that Senator Heffernan produced to the Royal Commission released to the public unredacted immediately! These two things are not up for negotiation. We'll be here every day until you do as instructed. Give Bonnie's phone back, DH! Oh, Donna!
Fancy having to tell that up to her. In the early 1990s, there was a move in Australia to deal with corruption in the police force and other places. But the government was hesitant to do anything about it because they knew once they started identifying the lower echelon corruption, that people would look higher up the chain and see that the corruption went all the way through to the top. New South Wales was one such state where they didn't want to have a Royal Commission, but there was an independent by the name of Kane Obz Ilaina, and she insisted that if they wanted her to vote for their legislation, then they would put in place a Royal Commission. Under Fitzgerald in Queensland, there were some major changes made to Royal Commissions. The first was that people could be compelled to give information. You no longer had a choice what you said to a Royal Commission or whether you turned up. And the second, which is most significant, is the Royal Commission had powers to lay charges against criminals. And we know that that happened under the Fitzgerald inquiry. And so when the Royal Commission in police corruptions took off in New South Wales, the first thing they discovered was that there was a boy brothel in King's Cross called the Costello brothel, and that there was trafficking of children between Sydney and the north coast of New South Wales. So what happened was that the terms of reference, which is the things the Royal Commission has license to look into, changed twice more to include anyone, regardless of what they were, that were involved with the brothel or the trafficking, could be looked at and could be dealt with by the Royal Commission. So a group of police had documents that they had gathered against 28 high-profile judges, government officials, politicians, even an ex-Prime Minister. But no court in New South Wales would deal with it. They had the documents ready to give to a prosecutor, but no court would deal with it. Why? Was the problem that bad that every judge wouldn't touch it? But it was in the terms of reference of the Wood Royal Commission, so they sent it to the Wood Royal Commission. And the QC assisting Wood, whose name was Crook, signed off on it, which means that he identified that it was a documents that were from an authoritative source and that it met the terms of reference of the Royal Commission and needed to be looked at by the Royal Commission. But the moment that Wood was facing to deal with these issues, he called a recess and did not go back to those documents. Hefton tells us in 2015, when he asked Wood why he didn't, Wood said, "I'm going to tell you, but if you ever disclose it, I'll deny ever saying it." And Wood said, we decided not to revisit the issue because the public would lose confidence in the judiciary and the government. He didn't say and the government, he should have done. So it wasn't looked at. And when the Royal Commission was finished, the New South Wales government put a 90-year suppression order on those documents, just in case someone did some research. And with all the power that Wood had at his disposal, being in charge of that Royal Commission, in 95, 96 and 97, 3 years of it, cost us, the taxpayers, $64 million. He did not lay one charge of pedophilia. He did not lay one charge of child trafficking. The only charges that were laid were very minor issues dealing with police. What does that show you? That the government is keen to expose the corruption and deal with it? No, the government is all about hiding and making secret their dirty little secrets. And then these same police decided, well, if the New South Wales government is not going to support it, let's send it off to the Attorney General. That is the Federal Attorney General. And they did so in 2003, and his name was Ruddock. And he was prepared to look into it. And from what we understand, he gave it to his department to look into it. But someone was working for him in his department who was related to the then Prime Minister Howard. And this person obviously did something and took it to her uncle. And the next thing is these documents disappear. And we know that there's only 3 ways that you can suppress documents. Through a court of law, through an act of parliament, or through an act of the Governor General. And I believe that the then Governor General, Jeffries, suppressed those documents and suppressed the suppression order of those documents. So Hurley, you have sitting in your filing cabinet these documents. Why do I believe that? Because Hefton tells us in 2015 that every Attorney General, that is every federal Attorney General since Ruddock, has had a copy of these documents. Now, think about that for a minute. The Federal Attorney General is the highest ranking law officer in the country. The highest ranking law officer in the country has proof against 28 high-profile pedophiles and has done nothing. Every federal Attorney General since Ruddock has had a copy of these documents, and not one of them has brought these people to court to face their accusations. So, these 28, as far as I'm concerned, are Australia's most wanted. But according to the government, they are Australia's most protected. Why are they protected? Because the Federal Attorney General, because the Governor General put a suppression order in place, is obligated to protect these 28 from any court cases to do with pedophilia. both historical and also that it comes up now since. So not only are they protected from the proof that the police had against them, they're protected from future events that they've been involved with. So truly, they are Australia's most protected. And then we have the Royal Commission into the institutional rape of children. And they heard from tens of thousands of victims. And Bill Hefton was ordered to produce the documents, which were the same documents that had been suppressed twice, to this Royal Commission under an order to produce. And he did. However, because mostly they seem to involve the law, and the law is not considered an institution, they could not be accepted by the Royal Commission. And Hefton tells us they were hand-delivered back to him. So he goes to the committee that deals with the law, and he has a speech there, and his aim is to get this committee to declare the legal fraternity as an institution. Why? Then the Royal Commission can deal with it. But they were too busy counting money, estimates. And so we had this wonderful speech in 2015 of Hefton, which gives us so much information. I wish to God under his ability to say what he wanted in Parliament, under Parliament's privilege, he read those names, but he didn't. And so the government was faced with a problem. 2018, they have the report from the Royal Commission in the institutional treatment of children. In other words, how many children have been raped while they were in institution. So what did they do? The government decided to deal with the problem by setting up a national redress scheme that would run from 2018 through until 2028. This was a scheme that if you were raped as a child in one of these institutions, you could go and ring up this group, and they would take your story, and if they accepted it and the institution accepted it, you would be paid off, and you could no longer speak about your experience. You could no longer expect any legal recourse. So what happened? Well, as of the 14th of July this year, there have been in excess of 28,000 applicants. Of this, 12,886 have been finalised. There have been 12,145 payments, which is more than $1 billion being paid out. 987 have withdrawn their application, and 14,468 are on hand waiting to be finalised. And 0 of the rapists have faced court because of this scheme. What a ridiculous thing, as a response to children being raped in institutions, that we give them money to shut them up, and none of the perpetrators face court for their crime. And in these institutions, most of these perpetrators did not just rape one child, they raped multiple children. So this is the government's response. What are they doing? Making it secret. If you're high enough up the ladder, you can get away with pedophilia. because the government will protect you. That's what it tells me. And so they still had a problem with royal commissions, because stuff would come out in royal commissions and people could report on it. So what they did in 2018 to make sure they covered everything was they changed the law to do with royal commissions so that anything that was spoken about in closed session, that's a session without the public, is automatically suppressed for 99 years. So what do we have? A government that systematically has protected high-profile pedophiles. And it's been going on for longer than I'm alive. And they believe that they've got away with it. But we are standing here every day before the Governor General, because in our society, in our structure of government, he or she is supposed to have the final authority to expose the 28 and expose every other sick individual that has been involved in child rape and child trafficking. And we have been here more than 500 days every day, and we're going to be here until the government realizes the Australian people will not take it any longer. The cone of silence is shattered. One last thing. A lot of Australians don't realize, but there was a petition to expose the 28, signed by hundreds of thousands of voters, that was presented to the Parliament in November of 2021. And the government dealt with it. You know how they dealt with it? Instead of looking into the Wood Royal Commission, which is where the documents were, they looked into the Royal Commission on Institutional Treatment of Children, where they didn't have them because they sent them back to Hefner, because they could not accept them under their terms of reference. So the Federal Attorney General got up in Parliament, presented the petition to the Parliament, and then said, I have searched through all the documents and these documents do not exist. And the Parliament said, oh, we're not sure why the people wanted it then. And they went on with their business. The secret is out. And if you're an AFP officer, or if you're an ASIO officer, or if you're some officer that has included in your job description dealing with corruption, dealing with treason, then you need to look into this cone of silence that the government has perpetuated through all the avenues, from the courts, through to the Governor General, through to the governors, through to the Parliament. And before I go, I have yet to hear your voice, Hurley, on the most serious accusations against you personally that were made last year on Anzac Day in front of your house. Your silence is deafening on the matter, and it's unacceptable in our society to be accused of these terrible crimes and say nothing. So I'm going to ask you the question yet again. David Hurley, are you a child rapist and a child trafficker as accused by that young man on the front lawn last year on Anzac Day? Adrian John Wells. It's a simple question, and the only response you need to make is to open your mouth and say something about it. Your silence smells of complicit. It smells of something that we do not want in our society. And you need to be doing your job and exposing this 28. Don't say you don't have a copy of it. You could get a copy from the Governor of New South Wales. They have one in their filing cabinet, unredacted, with the documents that are required. And you have it in your filing cabinet with footnotes from Jeffries that you can release to a court of law so that these 28 most protected become 28 common people facing court for their crimes. We send our love and best wishes to Ren as well. Get better, Ren. We love you and we're looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never gonna judge, never water my 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided again, done all again. 2% again, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They broken the road, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up, but I'm out on bail and I'm still here. They try so hard, we try not laugh. They turn my car, the next day's back in the same car park. These cops ain't smart, I'ma make a drop this charge. Son, you watch, we take it back to the start. No deeds, no titles, no trespass. Now we charge you, tables to turn. We come with a proof for all these souls, all the abuse. Nobody gonna cut these loose, stop lock. Yeah, who at the door? Makadar, bring on the storm. Library to empty, thought we were gone. Regroup and come back to the front lawn. Yeah, we're still here, still ain't got no fear. We won't run, still ain't shed no tear. In a sense that we still here. Is that all you got? We take on you mob, we unite. You don't call the shot, sovereign's been here all along. And they're still here, yeah, they're still here. Return to the sovereign, but they never left. They're still here, yeah, they're still here. Yeah, they're still here, the oldest civilization. Listen, how many years? They're still here. Need your support for the new way this war is fought. Al-Awari for the law and in June income war accords. Gotta cut out the cancer, yeah, that's what the plans are. Walk with the elders, they got the law, we got the numbers, that is the answer. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. Never got the jab, never water march. 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. They raided the camp, done all the camp, 2 keepers at the camp, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here, yeah, we're still here. They broken the road, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now. We're still here, yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up with a man on bail and I'm still here. They see us come, we see them run. Now we are one, free our daughters, free our sons. Yeah, they're getting scared. Front line, you can bet I'm there. Even when we're gone, our spirit lives on. Yeah, we ain't going anywhere. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Never got a job, never water my 2 years go past and we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They raided the camp, done all the camp, 2% camp, but we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They broken the road, broken the law, but can't break the spirit now. We're still here. Yeah, we're still here. Yeah, we're still here. They smashed my car and locked me up with a man on bail and I'm still here.
Every day, folks. Every day they do this. Days do today, some days there's hundreds. Why don't you come along too? Every Thursday, no, every day. Every day, 10 a.m. Tomorrow it's going to be 8 a.m. Got some brothers going to court. Share this around. Talk about it. Talk to people about it. This is very important. How are your children? Are they in institutions? We are. God help you. Right. That's all, mate. I'll upload this to my channel later. But all my friends on Facebook watching, thank you.
I'm sure even Albie might be able to screen record a little bit of us giving our love for Ren.
I'll record it and I'll put it on the chat.
Nice. Did you hear that, Albie? If you're still out there, otherwise we'll work through this one way or another. We've got some technical people behind the scenes that'll help out. We're still on live, but we can get something sorted out. Love you, Dex. Come on, Ren. Love you, Ren. You got this. Come on, you can get this. Your kids, everyone.
Even Gabby says, come on, Ren.
Come on, Ren. Said you love it, Haley. Yeah, we know.
No, I didn't have the button. Push it right. Oh, look. Free now.
How do you do that? I don't know. Maybe Vaughan can work it out and he can forward it to you.
What is it?
Because just to make a little short video out of that, and I'll check in with Diana. She might be able to just make it short and it'll be on YouTube for everyone as well.
Yeah, I think you're better off talking to Diana.
Yeah, Diana's a bit more technical. Vaughan likes to limit his real control. He's really good at these things, but he plays himself down. Would you guys like to see the possums today? It's a happy, beautiful day. We'll show Amos where the possums are. You're going to need a longer stick though. That's right. Awesome. It's good having you here, Amos. Love to all you digs out there joining in, and I hope you're going to share in our prayers for Ren. Okay, I'm just going to pull the microphone off again, guys, so I can get you in there a bit better. Come on, Ren. I know she's doing much better. That's yeah. Oh, here we go. Even Greg's got this worked out. Greg's more technical than we are. Thanks, Greg. Your help in the background's always, mate. Miss everyone out there. I had a chat to Jane briefly this morning. Nurse Jane and Dorothy made it Sage, Tasmania last night. So many good people in the background, guys. I miss you all out there. Again, I know I don't ring anyone. I've always got big things happening. I'm always here if someone needs to reach out though. And it's nice to have Amos with us today.
Howdy, everybody. Good to be on the side of the camera for once, eh?
Yes. And if you aren't subscribed to Amos's channel, Amos 777, get on there. He shares some great information out there. He covers some great lives and some great information and shares a lot of truth around the place. He puts a lot of effort into his channel. He hasn't got many subscribers and he does put a lot of effort in, guys.
And a lot of my subscribers are actually New Zealand, America, South Korea, England. So that 200 is, they're not all Australians. A lot of the guys are, yeah, especially New Zealand. My mate Vinny Eastwood and DK. Shout out, g'day to you guys who are watching this. Anyway, it's a hard road to hoe. So it's got to keep on plugging away, folks.
That's right. We don't give in. We just keep waking people up as we go every day. But today is just
Glorious.
everyone's spirits seem lifted. The sun's out. Yes, they're chemtrailing, but it is a beautiful day, guys.
I do. What about you, mate? You're here just about every day.
Oh, I'm lazy. I just sleep in my van. I don't do much around here.
Mate, you do plenty,
Everyone
mate.
thinks I do stuff, but I just hang out in the background. And if you got people out there with their vote yes for this voice referendum, just ask simple questions. Be nice, be polite, but ask them simple questions. What changes to our constitution are they making with this? It's that simple. They won't even tell you that. The lies, the cover-ups. I mean, so many things are going on. We all know what's going on. Doesn't matter if it's digital identity. Doesn't matter if it's pandemic treaties, which we have to get out of by November. Doesn't matter if it's the disinformation bills. All these things need to be fixed. If we can just get the public to ask questions. They don't know what's going on. Us yelling at them and telling them stuff doesn't help. We have to be nice, trying to get them to just give them some seeds to ask these questions. Because until we've got the people with us, nothing's going to change. We know our senators aren't doing much. They just put a show on for us in that building. But I know for me, myself, I'll be trying every day as best I can to get our word out there. Mark had some great information this morning. Another thing, maybe Diane could put a short clip of that up too. A lot of people don't understand how much of a cover-up has been going on to do with this 28 names. I know there's a lot worse things, there's more bigger things, there's more pedophilia, Epstein Island, all these other things, but we've got a paper trail with their cover-ups in this situation. Frank Arena's reports, just reading these things, it shows it all. And as always, You don't stop playing as you get old. You get old because you stop playing, guys. Remember to keep fun in your life. Otherwise, with all the stuff we all know, it gets very sad. You couldn't get up the hill? What do you mean you couldn't get up the hill? One hand? You're tricky. Who have we left behind? Well, I'm going to cut it short today, guys. I've got a million things to do. I've got a lot of phone calls to make, a lot of things to get organised. Thank you for joining us again. Come on, Ren. You got this. Everyone's got this. Spread your love with everyone. Our hearts are our way. We make this go forward, guys. But have a great day. Be nice to yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow.